Harry, this is Lord Potato, and this is What If Asta Had the System / Was in the System, Part 2. Now, let me mention something about this. So this is Part 2 of this What If, meaning that what's it called? Part 1 was uploaded yesterday, and no recaps because it hasn't been 1 month, because I did upload this yesterday. But not the point. So I'm gonna go into this, what's it called, Part 2. And, yeah, other than that, let me begin, and let me shut up. But, yeah. So, we go into Asta. Asta, who is right now blacked out, wakes up. He starts kind of opening his eyes and saying, what the hell happened? I should mention one thing. Asta's age is 13. And in this world, he's still 13. So, yeah. This is where, Asta's kind of wondering where he's at. And, of course, when he kind of looks at himself, he realizes he doesn't have a shirt or even his jacket. Or even his pants. The reason why is because he has multiple bandages around him. The actual reason is because, he was fighting that one thief. That thief that was kicking his ass pretty easily. It's where, Asta says, damn, it's so annoying. What the hell even happened? Damn, I can't remember. This is where, a blue box appeared on, Asta. Effect. Awareness. Blackout has been over. Asta woken up. This is where Asta says, no shit, I just woke up. This is where, Asta feels like he needs water in his mouth because, yes, he's thirsty as hell. And this is where, the system says, water needed. Very thirsty. Hydrated. It also says, knocked out, sleeping for 4 days. Asta says, 4 days? What the? What even happened? This is where the system says, reminder. Fighting against thief of, Lake Village. Thief of Lake Village. Level 5 thief. Kill thief. This is where, levels of Asta. This is where Asta reads on his stats and realize one thing. He is now level 5, or, level 4 mostly. This is where, Asta says, huh? I am level 4. This is where, stat points. 16 points he got. 16 skill points mostly. So, every level up, he will actually get 4 points. Yeah. So, that's what I'm going to do. So, of course, he got a total of, 4, meaning he got 16 points. Asta's strength was already pretty good. His durability was also good. His, speed was decent, but not that fast, unlike the thief. The thief had at least, 7 speed, while Asta had a 4 speed. So, of course, the thief was delivering much faster than Asta. But this is where Asta keeps, reading his stats. And realize one thing. His IQ, level, I wouldn't say 0. It's not level 0. It's just level 1. He isn't that smart, but yet again, it's Asta. Asta then just kind of thinks, strength would be good, but I should probably just work out. This is where, system pops out something saying, daily training, daily quest. This is where Asta says, huh? Daily quest. Training system. This is where it says, doing 50, I think, was it 50 or 25? I fucking don't remember. Or was it 100? Am I thinking of Saitama's training skill? You want me to just say Saitama kind of training series kind of skill. This is where, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100, squats. Yeah, 100 squats. And a 15k run. This is where, Asta says, huh. I see. I guess I should probably do that. This is where Asta tries to get up. He almost fell down. He was like, what the? Why do I feel extremely weak? This is where, Asta managed to catch himself, and this is where Asta says, I feel extremely tired still. What the hell? He's saying this all out loud because he is confused. This is where he realized one thing. He's not in what's called Hodge Village because he's still thinking this is a fucking dream. But then after kind of adding like 6 points into IQ, because yes, he added 6 points, he actually did that. Of course, he realized that he's now smarter, and well, he's up to 7 IQ points now. This is where, well, he's actually realizing that this is not a dream, and of course, this is another world. The system's telling him that, well, this is definitely another world. And he is now a person in this world. He's confused, but yeah. But of course, since Asta is now a person in this world that he doesn't even understand, he is, well, just confused. Of course, the word when he's confused and more confused, he then just kind of just shakes his head and says, whatever. But I am feeling extremely weak. Damn it. Ugh. This is where Asta's body is hurting really bad until he kind of looks at his stats again, seeing that, well, actually, let me write this down because I will forget about this shit. I suck at remembering stats mostly, but yeah. Okay, so let me do now the math. I accidentally say 4 skill points to make 7 because for his IQ, but it's really 6 skill points that he kind of put on IQ. So he has now 7. So HP that he has is 20. Strength is 5. Stamina is 4. IQ is 7. Well, now durability is 5, and speed is 3. So yeah, he's a little bit, well, not, speed is 4. Fuck, I fucked that one up. But yeah. So that's why he was a little bit slower than the thief himself. But yeah. But of course, with all that happening, Asta is just goddamn confused. I should also mention that the stats does kind of show that he has, well, he's a gender of male, but yeah. And he is 13, but yeah. Of course, he also has this magic ability called White Flame. He also has another skill in his White Flame magic region, mostly. In his White Magic skills, well, White Flame magic skills, he has called something White Flame Cloak, level 1. He activated during the fight between the thief. Of course, this is where he kind of read upon it. This is where it reads upon, it says, White Flame Cloak, level 1. The white flames that you can use is to cloak into any weapons, anything you need. Cloaking that weapon to have the same ability as your magic. Having as white flames to be one of the most powerful, strongest type of flames out there. And now it's able to be cloaked onto any weapon. The higher level that this cloak flame actually gets a side effect. And that is, if there isn't a weapon that has a special type of resistance towards the white flames, or it has a low resistance towards white flames, it will burn the sword or weapon or whatever into just melted metal. So anytime that Asta just upgrades the, what's it called, or just levels up this like white cloak flame magic, skill more, any weapons that he holds and try to cloak him with it, it does melt the weapon. Unless he gets a special type of sword that doesn't allow his weapon to be melted. Or material, mostly. So, of course, well, Asta kind of sees this and sees that he actually feels a little bit more stronger and more confident a little bit. This is where, well, he then feels like he doesn't hate that many people. Of course, Asta, he gets up, just sitting down on the ground, of course, reading this. And this is where a girl that's similar to almost the same age as Asta walks in. This girl is actually 15 years old, older than Asta himself. This is where, well, a woman also appeared behind, well, the young lady. Mostly it seems to be the mother. And this is where Asta then remembers that those are the two that he helped from the thief. And this is where, well, an older man appears behind, well, the mother, kind of still in bandages and hurt and all that, but is right now holding a cane just because he's hurt and all that. And of course, where, well, also remembers that the old man that he kind of helped, the older man mostly. This is where, well, Asta tries to get up, but of course he can't. He tries to get up, but this is where he almost falls down until, well, the girl kind of grabbed him before he actually falls down again. This is where, well, Asta says, thank you. This is where, well, the, well, older man kind of goes, so, hello there, young kid. So they know that Asta's, yes, a young kid because she's actually way smaller and younger than, well, their daughter. Of course, this is where the older man says, hello there. My name is, well, uh, Javan. No, not Javan. Fuck. No, not Javan. What the fuck? Jeevan. Jeevan. You know, I'm gonna call it Jeevan. This is what, well, don't ask how you spell that. I don't know how to spell it either. I just fucking think of random names and shut the fuck up, okay? So, of course, Jeevan says, hello, my name is Jeevan. May I ask what's your name? This is where Asta says, huh? Oh, my name is Asta. This is where, well, Jeevan says, hello, nice to meet you, Asta. What is a young kid doing out here kind of protecting a family that's kind of poor and unable to kind of repay anything back? What do you even gain from kind of helping us anyway? This is where Asta says, nothing exactly. I just saw that you people were in trouble. That's all why I helped. That's where the older man says, I see. So no gains or nothing or anything? Asta says, no, not really. I guess running in, well, actually having a plan probably made me feel kind of stupid about it. This is where Jeevan says, well, that's interesting, kid. Still, it's quite dumb of you to kind of run in there. This is where his wife does kind of stomp him in the leg. And this is where the older man says, ow! Ow, ow, ow! This is where, well, his wife says, please, excuse my husband about that. He doesn't actually know how to shut up most of the time. But still, we are very thankful for you helping us. If it wasn't for you, that thief would have probably killed us and took what's left that we have. This is where, well, the girl that's still holding on to Asta kind of like brings Asta to the like bed and kind of makes him sit there. This is where, well, Asta says, sorry about that then. Well, you're welcome. This is where, well, this is where the older lady kind of just smiles. This is where, well, the older girl kind of looks at Asta and doesn't really care. Just says, thank you. Just bow down her head, but yeah. Asta says, yeah. Can I ask where we're at? He kind of asked the older lady. The older lady said, oh, you're in, well, River, what's called River Village. The reason why it's called River Village is because our well, famous kind of river that kind of just flows through the town. This is what, well, Asta says, interesting. Very interesting. Well, mostly it's called Blue Lake Village, that's what it's called. Or not like river, yeah. Blue River Village. Because the water is kind of blue. It's like a very bluish color. So yeah. Also see, I see. This is where the system pops up saying, welcome to Blue River Village. A village that has the river being a bluish, majestic color. Also says, interesting. This is where, well, also says, oh, that's interesting. So, is this your house or... That's where the older lady shakes her head saying, no. This is mostly the doctor's, what's come. Mostly the village doctor who lives here kind of house. He seems that you were extremely hurt. So we go into a flashback of when they're talking. When Asta kind of black out and of course is bleeding out a lot. This is where the older man might have been hurt, but this is where like magic, well, not magic knights, mostly some villagers from this village kind of saw them being in trouble. So of course one of them grabbed the kid named Asta, and the other one tried to help up the older man and kind of bring them to the doctor. So that's what happened. Of course, they couldn't really take the axe because, well, the axe that Asta kind of had, he actually melted with his white flames. And of course, it was already melted and the, what's called, thief was cut down into two. So yeah, it was a gruesome sight, but it was kind of interesting in why the kid kind of saved him. Or just interesting because they didn't know if the older man was the one to do it or it's the kid. But the villagers didn't say anything. That's where, well, Asta says, well, thank you, but I don't have any money to repair you for, well, kind of like bringing me to the doctor. That's where, well, they say, no, it's fine. We know the doctor's personality and all that. Well, personal. He's a good friend of ours, so you don't need to worry about paying us back. That's where the older girl kind of keeps looking at Asta with her eyes being kind of cold because, first of all, she never seen, well, she's kind of cold a little bit because she's at that rebellious state. But she's kind of interested in the fact that Asta, being a young kid, being at least 5'1", right now helping their family and fighting against a thief. And of course with his magic, because yes, this world still has magic, he was able to kind of use white flames to cover up an axe, but of course the axe did get burnt, well, the wood of the handle and all that, and of course the metal was melted down. She was interested about his magic. Even though they are only commoners in this place, yes, commoners are still a thing, they weren't that strong. She has a very interesting magic, but she wasn't strong enough to help her family. She was actually scared. And of course, she's kind of angry at herself for being scared and not helping out her family. And this child, who is no one, just decides to help out her family without a single question thought in his head. She wants to become brave like him. And so, well, Asta says, well, thanks. I should be going now. This is where, well, the older lady says, well, hold up. You're still not fully healed, your wounds, and besides, when you're trying to walk, you almost fell down to the ground. We just saw you sat on the ground. So there's a good chance that you're still not healed. We should ask the doctor. This is where, well, the older lady kind of asks someone to come in, mostly named, Dr. What's it called? Someone named Dr. Gray. That's what his name. Dr. Gray. So yeah. And no, I'm not talking about Gray from what's it called, the Black Wolves. No, this man had very grayish hair. And of course, this is where, well, he has some glasses on him. And this is where he kind of goes up to Asta and kind of looks at Asta by kind of using his magic, this greenish colored magic. This is where he starts looking at Asta's wounds. And of course, they're healing up pretty slow, but still, it's a good, faster kind of regeneration. But still, he says, you're still kind of hurt, kid. But still, be good. In a couple, like, in 1 to 2 days, you will be fully healed. So don't worry about healing. Besides, I'm guessing that you don't have any parents and you just kind of came here just to help. This is where, well, Asta says, yeah, I guess you can say that. This is where, well, the doctor says, well, good to know. This is where we go into 2 days time skip. Asta has been resting in the bed and of course has get out some food from the doctor. When the doctor, since he doesn't have many patients getting hurt, it's just interesting to kind of heal the boy, since the boy doesn't have family exactly for him. So of course the doctor just kind of helps, well, Asta. Of course the family of the kind of older man, the older lady, and well, the 15-year-old kid girl, or mostly the girl, kind of left. They went to their house, but yeah. This is where Asta kind of thanked them a lot for kind of, well, bringing him here. Of course, this is where Asta is still confused in what to do. But this is where the doctor kind of just, when he was kind of healing Asta, and Asta didn't seem to go to sleep that much because he did kind of have some energy. This is where the doctor decides to give him some books and some medical stuff. Asta kind of read that after kind of, if he was feeling tired, he goes to sleep, but if he was not tired, he decides to read some of the books that, well, the doctor kind of brought him. It was just some books of like medical stuff. That's where Asta kind of like got the information of some herbs and other things. So this is where, well, he kind of reads a book, and yes, he does have 7 IQ, so of course he's a little bit smarter and all that. For being his dumb self, and yeah, of course this is where, well, his IQ kind of keeps getting better and better after reading for 2 days. After reading for 2 days, he actually has an IQ actually over 20. So he has an IQ of 20. Well, not 20, over 20. So he has an IQ of like 21 exactly. And with that happening, well, Asta, he has now an IQ of 21. This is where, well, Asta, he then kind of got through the book, well, mostly 2 books, of what the herbs that he should be looking for, but yeah. For if he ever gets hurt again, he should be kind of like, if there's some herbs that he can see that he can grind up, or even what's called burn, or kind of like just cut and then eat, that he can kind of heal up like that. This is where Asta kind of thanked the older man named Dr. Gray about everything, and of course is where, well, Asta says, so is there any place, well, to do, well, Asta kind of doesn't say things, but this is where Asta says, still, I feel really bad. Is there like any quest you want me to do or anything? The older man who kind of looks at Asta and says, yeah, I don't know if you got to that one book that I left you, the second book, where I want you to kind of find in that book, or mostly find in the outside, is I want you to find 6 blue flowers, well, kind of River Lake blue flowers. That's where, well, not River Lake, Blue River, blue flowers. This is where, well, Asta nodded. This is where the next was these kind of like tealish, like long grass things, like tealish, like, grass. And of course, to kind of just get multiple enough to kind of just have like 10 at least. They're like these long, what's it called, grass, pointy and all that, being at least to, well, 10 to, well, not 10, being at least one, well, not one, about the height of 5 inches. So wanting to get 10 of those. This will work, well, not inches, 5 feet. This will work, well. Asta nodded, and this will work, well. Asta then kind of got the last information of the quest. And this is where the last quest is to kind of find a very kind of, not rare, but it isn't that common, unlike the other 2 items, or other 2 kind of like item requests and all that. The last one is to kind of find the, well, an orb, well, not an orb, a mineral that's called the blue, well, it's kind of like a crystallized kind of like crystal and all that, and it's called Blue River Crystal. It's kind of found in the river, but of course, it's kind of rare to find it. This is where Asta nodded and says, sure, I'll bring you those. This is where Asta leaves the kind of like house and all that, and goes to find those. We go now fast forward into Asta being around kind of the river and all that. He kind of sees it in the village, like the river kind of passing through, and that's where Asta just follows the river up the stream and all that. That's where, well, Asta is kind of looking around, and of course he then finds some of these like blue flowers around the river and all that. He then picks them up, and they actually disappear into his inventory. That's where Asta now realizes that he has an inventory. This is where, well, in his inventory it has 2 items that are kind of interesting to him. Well, mostly. Well, it's kind of interesting because he has a bag. Yes, the bag that was given by the doctor to kind of get these items. And also, well, mostly 3 bags, but yeah, 3 brown bags. But this is where the next item that Asta has is multi-metal kind of, that he actually kind of got when he melted the axe on accident. But yeah, this is where, well, Asta says, very interesting. This is where, Asta is now going towards, well, he got the, well, 6 blue flowers. This is where he kind of found the teal green leaves and all that. Well, kind of like teal 5 feet, what's it called, grass and all that. He got 10 of them and put them in another pack. And this is where when he kind of goes to look for that blue orb and all that blue mineral orb. Of course, the system says, good job, you managed to complete 75% of this quest. So yeah, the last 25% is the crystal. Asta's looking into water, but of course the water seems to be a little bit cold. But of course Asta keeps looking around, not giving up any time, until he finds where the kind of like river kind of goes up. That's where Asta sees this little kind of place, kind of being in, well, behind the kind of waterfall river and all that. So this is where Asta kind of sees something in behind it. This is where Asta sticks his head into it and realizes it's kind of like a cave. This is where Asta sees the, well, crystal thing that he needs on the ground. This is where Asta sees it to be like in the ground. And of course the ground is kind of having like this like dark mud color. Mostly dirt and all that. That's why it's not really into stone and all that. It's kind of just created and dirt and all that. And this is where Asta kind of picks it up. And this is where when Asta kind of grabs it, he says, good, I have one. This is where Asta had to dodge an attack from a giant spider. Well, not a giant spider, a spider being level 6 and right now roaring. This spider has, well, blue eyes, and it's called the Blue River Spider. Level 6. Of course, mini boss. This is what Asta said. God, son of a bitch. Damn it. Of course, he doesn't cuss, but this is where, well, Asta said, damn it. This is where Asta's dodging some of the claw legs from, well, the spider. And of course, Asta says, I don't have a weapon. What the hell do I do? This is where Asta jumps away from the spider. But this is where, well, Asta then kind of pulls out the melted metal. This is where he thinks about it. If he can cover what's it called, well, his white flames into cloak and all that. And yeah, I should mention his mana status right now. His mana status has, well, 30. He has 30 mana in total. But yeah, this is where, well, Asta is kind of thinking on what to do, and this is where Asta dodges again, and this is where, of course, he looks at his skills into, well, his white flame cloak. It takes 5 mana. That's where Asta is kind of doing the math, and this is where he adds, well, his white flame cloak into his like weapon. One thing happens, it starts actually melting the metal again, and this is where Asta says, damn it. He dodges another attack, and this is where he thinking, wait, if he kind of, because he realized one thing. The white, what's it called? The metal that he had was only dull and all that, thanks to the fact that it's only like melted and all that. Well, a little bit kind of harder now into, well, its solid state. But this is where Asta started adding more white flame magic. And this is where, well, he decides to make the small, what's it called? Well, not thin. There's like metal and all that into a piece of like this small, well, 2 what's it called lines. He easily made 2 sembons. This is a new skill that he finally unlocked. White cloak, well, mostly white flame magic craft, or mostly molten or not molten. Craft. White flame magic craft. This is where, well, he kind of added enough of his white magic that it did take 10 mana to kind of like create this. And of course he has 5 mana left in his like body, but this is where he throws both of the metal sembons at the spider. And of course the spider, he gets hit in the kind of like, you know, the spider ball that he has, mostly the ass and all that. Of course gets hits there, and of course stab. And of course, since it does have some white flame magic in it, it's kind of getting like melted because the white flames magic is actually being spread through what they call the spider. And of course the last one, the second what's it called sembon, kind of hits the spider in the head. So this is where Asta unlocks 2 what's it called new skills: white flame magic craft, or mostly melting, or what should I call this? Of course this is where, well, the first one is called white flame magic blacksmith, which allows him to kind of create out of metal into any type of weapon if he has the metal or any kind of material. And of course the next one was called white flame magic spread, meaning that he can add his what's called white flames, but also taking 5 mana. But this is where he kind of split up the mana that he had of 5 into 3.5 and 3.5 in the other one. And of course this is where, he throws out the spider, and the spider does get hit by those 2 sembons, right now spreading white flame into it until the spider kind of started burning. This is where, well, Asta got some stuff from the spider, but this is where, well, I'm going to have to leave it off. Yes, I'm going to leave it off here for part 2. And yeah, part 3 will be wherever, but other than that, I got to go, and yeah, bye, potato.